The Los Angeles Angels entered the 2020-2021 offseason in a dilemma, as they had one of the best players in baseball in Mike Trout and studs in Anthony Rendon, Shohei Ohtani, David Fletcher, and Dylan Bundy, yet they still not made the playoffs since 2014, with the Oakland Athletics and the Houston Astros each losing key components to the team. This was the Angels' time to strike. Before we get into this video, if you guys can, please like and subscribe. Anyway, let's get into the video. So like most off-seasons, the Angels' biggest need was pitching. So the first pitching acquisition that general manager Perry Minasian made was acquiring Reds closer Raisel Iglesias in exchange for reliever Noy Ramirez and cash. Since making his debut with the Reds in 2015, Iglesias has a career 3.15 ERA to go along with 106 saves. Last season was especially solid for Iglesias, having a 2.74 ERA and 31 strikeouts. In my opinion, this was a great move by the Angels, who addressed a need in their bullpen and acquired someone very solid. Later in December, they signed reliever Alex Claudio to a one-year deal. In Claudio, the Angels are getting a reliever who might not have the same upside as Iglesias, but who still is a solid reliever, having a career 3.44 ERA and only posting an ERA higher than 4.10 once. The Angels addressed two needed moves early and helped to strengthen a mediocre bullpen. Then in late January, they signed former All-Star Jose Quintana to a one-year deal. From 2014 to 2018, Quintana was one of the most underrated and dominant pitchers in baseball, pitching for the Cubs and the White Sox. Sadly, the past two seasons, Quintana has struggled, having a 4.68 ERA in 2019 and a 4.50 ERA in 2020. Now, for the Angels, Quintana is a nice, low-risk, high-reward type of player that the Angels could use. The only issue is that their whole rotation is filled with guys with injury questions and bounce-back candidates. Speaking of bounce-back candidates, the Angels traded for Alex Cobb in exchange for prospect Jahmai Jones. In Cobb, the Angels are getting someone who's not had an earned run average of 3 since 2017. In his tenure with the Orioles, he has struggled, but he had a bounce-back season in 2020, having a 4.30 ERA. They also traded for reliever Aaron Slegers, signed veterans Jesse Chavez and Junior Chavez as well. On the offense side, their biggest move was acquiring shortstop Jose Iglesias. Even though it was a shortened season, Iglesias had an incredible year, putting up a 373 batting average, a 160 OPS+, and he was worth 1.3 wins above replacement. Obviously, in a full season, Iglesias would not put up that kind of season, but throughout his career, he's a solid 270 hitter who has solid defense. While Iglesias may not have Andrelton Simmons' great glove, this was still a solid move by the Angels. Later in January, they signed catcher Kurt Suzuki to a one-year deal. In Suzuki, the Angels are getting an experienced catcher of 14 seasons who has racked up 20 wins above replacement in his career. Suzuki should form a solid platoon with Max Stassi. Their last big equation made this offseason was acquiring outfielder Dexter Fowler. Since becoming a St. Louis Cardinal in 2017, Fowler has struggled horrendously from 2018 on. He is no longer the solid hitter he once was, as he struggled with injuries, and his batting average over the last 3-year span was .238 in 2019. The Cardinals wanted to get rid of him and thus picked up most of his contract for the Angels to take him. Fowler should slot in right field and hold down the position until prospects Joe Adell and Brandon Marsh are ready to take over. Even though I see why this trade would make sense, I feel that Fowler's best years are behind him for a team trying to contend. They could have tried to get someone better. Overall, during this offseason, the Angels made many solid moves to help add to a hopeful playoff team. In my opinion, they did not do enough. Keep in mind that this is a team that has Mike Trout, who has not made the playoffs since 2014. They went into the offseason with their biggest need in pitching. While adding Raisel Iglesias was a solid move, they did not add an all-around stud. And in their rotations, they have many question marks on guys that have serious injury concerns. The Angels only added Jose Quintana and Alex Cobb. Now, on their own, these aren't half-bad moves, but the issue is that their whole rotation is filled with Quintanas and Cobbs. Going into this season, Dylan Bundy is their best pitcher. This is a serious issue, as Bundy's only above-average season was this past season. If just one of their pitchers in the rotation gets hurt or struggles, which is likely, then their whole plan unravels. On offense, I really like the Jose Iglesias trade, but I didn't like the Dexter Fowler addition as much as I feel like they were just throwing in a struggling hitter on the lineup every day. Overall, I give their offseason a grade of D. If you guys have enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe and tell me what you think of the Angels offseason in the comment section below.